Hello, this is Shane from the AusComX Show. I'm here with Jerome.
Hey guys.
Hey Jerome. And tonight we've got a action-packed episode with Duncan Cunningham from Crucifix Executioner comic, the creator of it, I should say. And we've also got the ComX Studio team from issue 1s. So that'll be later this afternoon. So let's get on with the show. Hi everyone, let's just bring Duncan in. Hey Duncan,
G'day.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. So we're here to talk about yourself and how you got into comics. So how did you get into making comics?
Oh, firstly, I started off making a film. So
Yep.
I made a film, and then I realized that I couldn't really grasp what I wanted to do in a film, like budgetary setbacks and all that. So then that's when I decided to move over to the comic book form of storytelling. So got into that because I realized you can pretty much do whatever you want in a comic book. You just got to tell them to draw. Yeah, Volume 1 was more of based around the a low budget film, but then I sort of changed a few things getting through it. And then by Volume 2, the one that we got now, I've just realized that we can do whatever we want. So we got bikies, we've got strip clubs, we've got animals, we've got crocodile wrestling, everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
it looks really good.
Yeah, so that's what got me into it. That was back in 2013, originally when I had the epiphany, when I was walking around Supernova there talking to the comic book creators down there, and I go, hang on, I don't need to be an artist to get this going. Bing! I just got to hire a good team.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And it's lots of great things have come from it, so that's awesome. Yeah, because I've got the first one, and now I'm waiting on this one. So, Jerome, have you got any questions for Duncan?
Yeah, of course. Let's see. Okay, Duncan. Let's start with a quick question first. Were you ever a comic book fan when you were younger? And what was your first comic book, if anything?
It's very much a comic. Probably got like thousands of them under the house, actually. So I think I started collecting comics back when I was, would have been about 4 or 5. My granddad used to take me around to the newsagents and all that. And I just remember I had Superman, Batman comics as a real young one, but one of the main ones was when I was a little bit older. My granddad took me over and I got the Incredible Hulk. And I just remember the cover of the Incredible Hulk was Incredible Hulk versus Dr. Samson and Captain America on the front cover, and I just thought that looked awesome. It was back when he was the Smart Hulk.
Yeah,
I really got into the Smart Hulk. That was the one I could remember reading as a kid because the Juggernaut and all that had all the real cool, and I forget the artist's name that was drawing that back in the day, but yeah. Got into the Incredible Hulk, collected Hulk, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. I liked a lot of the versus crossover, Marvel versus DC. I really enjoyed that. Then the mixed genre between DC and Marvel with Nightclaw and Superboy mixed with Spider-Man and all that. And then I collected
Amalgam or something, I think it was called.
Yeah, they all got mixed in together. So, yeah. And Mortal Kombat comics and Spawn comics and pretty much whatever I could get my hands on. Yeah, I collected. Used to go around to all the old secondhand bookstores and try and find out. But I said, oh, no, those comics are in black and white. I don't want them. Little did I know it was like X-Men issue 3 in that I've stumbled across. But me as a young fella didn't like the black and white comics. So I found a couple I think I found Avengers 3, but I think it was an Australian print I found out later on, so it wasn't worth that much.
Yeah, Australia reprints. They're all black and white. Yep.
Yeah.
Why did they do that for Australian reprints, if anything? Why were they black and white? Do you know?
I think it was just because it was cheaper.
Cheaper
okay.
than the original, yeah. But because they're reprints of the originals, they just were not worth anything because they had the Australian reprint on them. So yeah.
Well, you told us like a few minutes ago that um, your frustrations with your film, with what you can do in your film, inspired you for your story. But were there any sort of fictional IP? Are there any IP that inspired you to start the story for Crucifix Executioner?
Oh, there's always the IP. Yeah, well, it's how this story originated was I was just reading the paper one day, and there was this horrific crimes that happened, and I just really get roll my goat up, you know. And I met going, I wish there was someone out there that could like possibly get there before this horrific crime was committed. And then I started thinking and coming up with a character and all that, and I couldn't really think of what sort of. So I gave him a psychic ability, so he can sort of sense when there's evil presence around. And this is prior to where the first comic takes place. So he used to go around and help find lost kids and all that sort of thing. It's in the comic there. But yeah, then I sort of saw Dexter. I'm going, geez, I had the same idea as that Dexter, but I just couldn't put down what job, and I didn't want to cliche and make him a detective or anything like that. But then Dexter, a blood analyst, and I go, of course, then he's got access to all the files and everything as well. I thought, what a brilliant idea. But yeah, so my character just ended up with a psychic ability, so that helps him out, so he can find out who's killed who or who's done wrong. The wicked must be slain, so that's what he does. He goes, slays all the wicked.
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
It's awesome, and it really shows in your work. You know, what was your challenge for moving from film to comics? Was it an easy transition? Was it a harder transition than most? I mean,
well, back in 2013, it's like I've just come off to make a movie took me from 2008 to 2013, so there's a lot of pre-production, a lot of story taking to get that, and then sort of because I had that basis of the film, so I brought that into the comic. So I sort of had the same sort of script, so I just adapted that and changed it a bit, and then got onto forums and found myself an artist, Vega. He come aboard. I tested a few different artists out. There was too many good ones to choose from, but we went with Vega because he had the nice grindhouse style of art.
Yeah.
So he captivated that for a while, and just gave him the script, trying to change that into a comic format, which of course is like single panels, so you can't have such and such walks over here, otherwise you got to do panel. Yeah. So you just had to simplify it a bit, what happened in there, and you can use your little yellow storytelling, the narration of the comic book.
Yep.
Yeah. Got an excellent voiceover to do that in the motion comic from Canada. It sounds really cool.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So were you able to fully translate your vision from film to comic book, or you think you're missing a few more things to tell?
Oh, there's like panels in that you missed that you said, oh, that could have worked there, but
yeah,
it's trying to get your vision across to the artist.
Yeah.
Also, see, in filmmaking, I was there and I could see it on set, and of course, budgetary things stop you from getting like a big crocodile coming in. And but with comics, you can go back and forth with the artists. See, my mate Aaron Cassidy is a writer on here as well, so he puts a lot of black humor in there. It's not just a full-on serious slaughter comic. We like to chuck a bit of black humor in there, sort of like humor like from Mr. In Between or something, if you know that show. Yeah.
Well,
very nice.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, and what do you think is the difference of directing a film from writing a comic book? Are there I mean, of course there are differences in how you do it, but in framing scenes, in how you storyboard, I guess, if you storyboard your scenes, are there any
Yeah.
differences?
Well, it's similar to, like, you just got to put more thinking what you're going to have in that original panel. See, in a script, you can say, Glenn walks into the room, he walks over, picks up a cup and drinks it, and then he sits down and then looks on his phone. Now you got to translate that into a comic book. You just have Glenn enters room, then you'd have a shot of him like sitting down, looking at his phone straight away. So your imagination puts it all together. Or you just get a motion comic and then get that through doing the motion comic as well. So
Cool.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, and I saw in your Kickstarter that you worked before in morgues, hospitals, and asylums. Is that correct?
yes, that's correct. Yep, still working there.
Oh,
Oh, nice. Oh, that's the
Yeah.
shift work.
That's the shift work, mate.
Oh, nice. Oh, I don't miss shift
Yeah.
work. I don't miss shift work.
No, you got to do something to try and fund these comic books. So you got to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, got to work around
Just a
the
quick-
old shift.
Yeah. Well, just a quick question for you. Is there, like, just from looking at the Kickstarter, is there a connection with this and Kilnowski?
Yes, there is.
There is.
It's
See,
a-
I've got Kilnowski and I've read that.
Yeah,
And I was just, there were some things that kind of looked familiar. And I was just curious if there's a connection.
yeah, that's like a prequel comic. If you,
Oh,
it's a prequel. See, at the last page, and well, spoilers alert. At the last page, you'll see Glenn finding the little girl that was lost at the start. This is before he's the Crucifix Executioner. So
That's
he comes
who that
out.
is.
oh,
Yeah. So that's Glenn. And then that relates over it. But Kilnowski, Ivan, the big grey bearded, that's who he fights in issue 2. And
oh, okay.
yeah, so the art, if you don't, I haven't made it common knowledge, but yeah, if you can pick up, that's all in the one universe. So yeah, the Kilnowskis, they'll probably come back in down the track because, as you know, not all of them are deceased.
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So I did
There-
pick up something.
Yeah,
That's
you did.
good, yeah.
It is. It's in the same set, and Glenn even made an appearance in that comic at the end. That's the little girl that he found. The little girl. That's what the one they carry on about all the time is that girl.
Oh,
And-
okay.
And in volume 2, you meet that little girl again. So she's
Nice.
at the start of volume 2, and her father still getting over the grief of their mother being murdered in Kilnowski. So that's
Wow.
where the bad man is dead.
Nice.
Oh.
So yeah, there you go. It's all tied in.
I love it.
Well-
I love it.
Well, true. And well, can you? I might as well ask you now because it's out of morbid curiosity. Can you? Do you have any? Can you tell us about experiences and your experience in the morgue and asylums? Because, I mean, I've always been curious on how jobs happen in there. You know, there's always the stereotype of these places, but
It's pretty much like Arkham Asylum, isn't it?
Nice. Sounds like fun. Not.
Yeah. Real fun. You know, in movies where you see like they wear the white outfits.
Yep.
Yeah, like that guy.
the
Oh, okay,
orderly.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so similar to Arkham Asylum. So if the inmates ever get disrupted, you know they're the first to go. You got to wait for Batman to come or the Crucifix Executioner to come and save us all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, where do you think you got your flair for the macabre? You know, because there are creators who draw animal detectives and these kinds of things, but your vision is for mostly, how do I put it, horror, thriller, and
It's
gore,
horror and thriller, yeah. Police sort of action, all that. Because I was raised by a police officer for 37 years. I was raised by one and a nurse. My mum was a nurse. So I was always privy, and there was nothing really hidden about the world there. And I've always liked action movies and horror movies growing up. And I sort of wanted to combine the two, a dark action sort of a story. That's what the Crucifix Executioner is really a dark action with horror elements and parts of a slasher type movie.
Yeah.
See, Glenn becomes like the slasher, like the Jason Voorhees going around. But imagine if he was doing, well, he's still doing evil deeds, but he's killing bad guys. But just like a slasher, instead of just going around killing virgins and all that sort of stuff, he goes around and actually slays the wicked. So that's where that sort of come from. He was like a pessimistic type of guy. Didn't really want violence before his injury in the first issue, and then that sent him all haywire. Or is he possessed? We don't know.
That's intriguing. Well, if anything, do you have favorite indie movies or B movies that horror B movies or slasher B movies that you pull from, you get inspired from?
The Crucifix Executioner, there was a few that inspired me through there. Mostly like a couple of Sons of Anarchy, if you know that, the bikies. Yep. The movie Stone was an early Australian movie about bikies and that as well. So I had that. Mad Max is always like the violence in the Mad Max 1. I sort of like just before going into the apocalypse world. What else? I was watching a lot of the TV show The Shield with corrupt detectives in at the time when conversing coming up with this.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, so a lot of influence, and always like the black coat of like the bad guys and like the Undertaker and all that. And based him pretty much on my brother, because my brother's a bald head and everything as well. He actually plays a version of it in the movie. He plays a bald psychopathic guy. We're going to call it Bald Fury, but we were opted out for that. So that was Foresight Killer Instinct. And
cool.
I've made pretty much all horror or based in supernatural sort of realms, or police work of detectives, and I've got numerous other stories like that. And then I've got another comic that I'm working on at the moment, Destroyers. That's more of a Celtic Viking warrior with demons and angels and all that sort of in there. I won't spoil that too much, but yeah, that's looking really cool.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. So how far away is that, you reckon? Just approximate, like this year, next year?
It'll be this year, hopefully, if it all goes according to plan. So yeah, I think that's like just the issue 1, 25 pages. That should be done. But hopefully by the end of the year, I'll release volume 3 of Crucifix Executioner and finish off the story. So that's where
that'll be the final, will it?
The trilogy volume for that, and then I'm probably going to pause the Crucifix Executioner in his own story run. Might do a few crossovers with maybe Killaroo and a few other comic creators. So yeah, might get that up and going.
That's really awesome. That would be great.
Yeah. So yeah, Killaroo and the Crucifix Execution are going to do a crossover event.
Oh, nice and violent.
We're going to make it violent.
Yeah, the body count will be super high.
Yeah, well, that's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't want that, So, well, can you to the uninitiated, we've been talking about Crucifix Executioner, but can you give us a general gist of Crucifix Executioner to the unknowing so far, to the unconverted?
The unconverted, well, Crucifix Executioner. How can I put him? He's a killer that kills the wicked, pretty much. That's I was trying to think of a pitch about him, but yeah, he's pretty much a guy that goes through a horrific brain injury with psychic abilities and then can't control his abilities until he slays any person that's committed a crime around him that he deems wicked. So then he goes off and he's like an anti-hero, and he goes around and he kills the most horrific serial killer in the town of Wollston, the Wollston city the comic's based in. That's his first kill off the cab. Instead of going, who killed his family, his wife and family, his pregnant wife, he can't really pick up because he's been shot in the head. He doesn't really understand who's done that to him. So he just goes out and just kills the most wicked person in the city, which is a Kilnowski family member. So
no way.
yeah, so they've been killing people and feeding them to their crocodile farm there for a while. So he goes out and sorts those guys out. Well, one of them anyway.
One of them, yeah. I really liked that comic too, by the way. That was I was a big fan of Kilnowski. That was cool little comic, that one.
Yeah. I made a short film on that one years ago, and I thought, I'll turn this one into a comic because I always like the end sort of thing. I like how like you get hit. And it seems to be brain injuries with me, but yeah, you get hit and then he didn't really know who he was. He woke up in the street. Yeah, that one got played around in a couple of film festivals too back in the day. It wouldn't hold up today, but yeah, that's where I met Aaron through. He actually had a movie called Horror of Cornhole Cove, which is a horror comedy sort of thing. But that's where we met up and then started telling tales together.
Oh yeah, cool. So, how many movies have you? Well, not how many have you done. What other sort of movies have you done? Is there a few of them, or is just a handful? Or
the only feature film that I've done is Foresight Killer Instinct, and that one played in Monster Fest and got shown around, and then it got over 200,000 views on YouTube before it was banned or someone flagged it because of the violence and coarse language. Because it's one of the there's a lot of swearing in it and violence that people can hack. There's a lot of F words and C words, and people started playing drinking games with it. So and they don't get to the end. So that's where it's an independent film for sure. But yeah.
So they say use the Force a lot. Is that what you're saying? Force.
Yeah.
Force.
use the Force. Use the Force. Yes, that's a lot. 320 I've used the Force. I sat down and counted it one day because I didn't really pick up onto it too much. I said, there's too much swearing for me to cut it all out. But yeah, I sat down and counted it all, and there was 320 F words and 21 C's, which makes this come number 11th in the world of movie with most swears. So yeah, it's a swear fest. So if you don't like coarse language, it's not the movie for you.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, prior to that, I just had a couple of short films that just traveled and did a few. I won my local film festival here with Homicide and the Switch. That was about two detectives that come across a horrific murder. As usual, you can see the pattern here. It's all that, but that was just based on the detectives chasing after. Chase of Madness was another comedy sort of take on the two detectives chasing a guy that was talking to multiple people that weren't there. So, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yes, there is a bit of a pattern.
Yes. Yeah. But now I do Vikings and stuff now, so I've sort of gone to that.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in your plans for the future, or is it the Vikings so far?
No, it's going to be Vikings.
Anything else you can tell us about?
Well, I've got Vikings, and I've got another twisted one coming out that I'm writing at the moment, Sinister Crime, which is another dark detective sort of tale, but with a twist. So, nice. So I want to get that one out. I'm still at the drawing board with that. I've made a short film out of that one as well, but now I can make it the way I want in comic form. So that's where I'll get that one going. So pretty much all my old ideas, I'm turning them into comic books. Yeah. So hopefully get the readership in that and they get a following. And if they're not really into comics, hopefully they'll watch a motion comic, because I'm thinking of turning Kilnowski into a motion comic also. I think that'd be awesome.
That should be cool.
I do well at the horror film fest and that one, I think. and the artwork
Yeah.
would look really good motion. So yeah, I've already got
Agreed.
Ivan's voice recorded, so I just got to get the other voices done. It's the narrator of the motion comic for Crucifix Executioner. He's playing Ivan. He plays Ivan in that,
Oh, okay.
and this as well. Yeah, the short film we originally had John. He's the epic voice guy from Screen Junkies on his trailers.
You got that voice guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had him do for the pilot episode for a few years ago. He did the narrator's voice for that. So yeah, got onto him and he did it. And that went around. That got into Chicago Horror Film Festival and that. So that's why I thought, oh, might be onto something here. Why not turn the whole comic into a motion comic and see how that goes? So if you back the Kickstarter, you'll get a special link to be able to view the motion comic, a private link, because I still enter it in the film festivals and they don't like it to be released prior. So that's what you'll get with the Kickstarter.
Oh, nice.
Private
cool.
viewing, yeah. Only
Very
backers
sweet.
on the Kickstarter, yeah.
Well, do you still have themes with Crucifix Executioner that you haven't explored yet, that you're looking to play on more? Because if you're saying that it's a trilogy, there's one more volume. So,
that's just the first trilogy is pretty much like the origin of the Crucifix Executioner. Then I could 50 issues, no worries. You could take that character anywhere,
yeah,
or I could kill him off. But that's what I think Aaron wanted to do. He goes, let's just kill him off at the end, so that we don't need to write anymore. I said, no, you can't kill him off. Say if people like it, and then we just make a multi-dimension mention sort of thing. One man versus hell, and do that storyline.
Yeah, nice.
that will be cool, actually.
Yeah.
You kill him off, and he goes to hell and fights off hell.
Fights off hell. Got to fight surrounded by all the wicked people that he's slain. But yeah, actually, that is a good story. Maybe we'll go there.
Yeah,
Maybe go there.
you should. You should.
That's how you can end it all.
Just so we can end it all, he's got to slay the most wicked of all, the devil, Lucifer.
Nice.
That should be cool. Yeah. Well, since you're dealing already with slasher tropes here, so there's always a limit to how far creators will go. So, how far is too far for Crucifix Executioner?
Oh, you just got to skate that line without crossing it. You just got to skate it without going too far over to offend people that go, no, that's too far. But no,
That's too
Crucifix
far, yep.
Executioner skates that line pretty well. But there is things in there that if you are a bit soft and stuff, you will get offended by some things. But just remember, it's black humor, a lot of it.
Yeah.
So because there's if you read the first volume, there's something with a cat. I didn't realize how offended people get with cats. So yeah, the bad
really?
guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. But I thought it was funny when I read it. Aaron wrote that seed, and I'm going, what? Because it's just out of the blue, and you go, what the hell? What happened to that cat? I told that cat he had to pay. Now I'm telling you. So yeah. That was one. I can't believe you did that to the cat. I said, it's not only that, it does it to everyone in it. Animals, everyone gets killed in the Killer Comics universe. No one's safe.
Yes, exactly.
People are always more upset when it comes to animals, you know.
I am too.
Yeah.
Like, people know, but a dog or a cat. Also, a dog that brings a tear to your eye.
Yeah.
You don't care about the 100 people being killed prior. Oh, that poor dog.
Well, that is true. Well, so what do you think makes Crucifix Executioner appealing to your readers? Because at least from what I think me and Shane we enjoyed so much. But what do you think makes it very appealing to everyone? You know, to almost everyone. You know, it's allowed to read it.
Well, anyone that would pick it up and be interested in it, they start to realize once they've read a few pages, they don't know what to expect on the next page. They don't know what's going to happen because we're just going to throw it all at you because we are skating along that line, and we're not afraid to go certain places that people aren't like. As when I'm talking to guys, I said, no, this is not PG, mate. It's an R-rated comic. So do as much gore on that as you like within means. Because you don't want to go the X-rated, just stay R. Because X-rated it gets banned, and you can't have that anywhere. But yeah,
nice.
So it's an R-rated, mature comic book for those that like a bit of dark action, bit of black humor, comedy.
Black humor, yeah.
And because for everyone listening, if you guys think George R. Martin is bad with his characters, Duncan is there's nobody sacred in his stories. So
I know you never know who's going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wait until Volume 3. Well, Volume 2 we introduce you to Gibbons as our new villain. So Gibbons is full on a cannibal bikey dwarf. So he runs he's the leader of the Conquistadors motorbike gang. So yeah, he's entering the city of Walston, and then he's going to make them pay for what happened in issue Volume 1. So he's coming for revenge. Steel is
revenge.
It's all about the revenge. And these bikies, well, he doesn't muck about. He's got filed teeth into sharp points, and he wears the Conquistador helmet, and he does not muck around one bit.
That's cool. And it's always the over the top characters that you remember. So
of course you got to go all the way. No point in just keeping it real. Like, well,
yeah, exactly.
Well, it is real, based on real things, just elevated.
Elevated, yes.
Well,
cool. Well, sorry. You go, Jerome. You go.
Oh, you go.
No. I'll interrupt.
Well, let's go a little bit on the technical side of things. So, how does a typical work day for Crucifix Executioner happen? Can you tell us about like the planning stage until you deal with your team and things like that?
Well, the planning stage is a massive brainstorm with me and Aaron. So we come together, and we've a couple of weekends. We just nut out ideas, and then we got to get it going, and we get the flow. We come up with the characters, what they're going to do in the further down the line, what characteristics they will have, what's going to happen, what we need to happen, and what we line up down there. Then I tell Aaron that, and then he sits down, and then he'll write it. He'll get me a page or whatever. And he'll send it back, and then for the first one, we already had the script, but for the second one, we thought, we'll go, just write one more issue. And we go, oh, no, we're liking that. We'll draw one more issue. So then I give it to the artist, and he reads through, and then sometimes they don't really understand what I'm talking about because of like Harshio, who's from India. So a lot of the time I just had to use pictures, find images and that to show him what I mean. And he'd go, oh, yep, I got you now. And then he'd draw it and come together, and he'd send back, is this what you want? And I said, yeah, maybe just change that. And he'd send it back. But it was a lot of back and forth. But just showing him images and that of what I was talking about really helped out with Harshio doing that. So, yeah, he worked on the next, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he did all those issues. He drew all them.
Oh, nice.
And then we come together as a team for the 2 issues. So it's Horatio, and then we got Armando Jr. does all the awesome colors in there, and he does a lot of the colors on the covers and that as well.
Yep.
And Ryan Brown does the cover of the next issue. If you know who that guy is, UK artist. He's on a lot of
I'm not familiar with
Marvel
him myself.
Oh yeah, he's up there. Now Nick Percival, he did the cover of Volume 1. He's a Marvel DC. He usually works on Judge Dredd and everything now. But yeah, we got him for that cover. and I just hired a video game style because I like all that video game stuff. So that's in Loomis.
Yep.
Ooh.
He did that one. He's done a lot more like video game imagery, and Bjorn Barnes. Yeah, we can't. He's the cover artist on Spawn at the moment. Check that
no
out.
way.
Oh.
There's your Cannibal Biker Gibbons.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Cannibal, all right.
He's done like 5 covers for us. So if you want the single issues with his covers, they're from they're on the first, second, and third, 5th one. Yeah. So then we got his prints in the Kickstarter. Yeah. So yeah, these were like his original comic covers that he was doing. So now he's working on Spawn with McFarlane. So he's doing really well.
Yeah, it's really cool.
What else we got there?
So oh, I pressed the wrong thing then. You all went off the screen for a second. So we'll go to the Kickstarter if you want. Just give everyone a bit of a look. See, so
there's a sexy cover from Blackie Chevy.
Oh.
Nice.
There's one of the sexy covers you can get.
Yep. Cool. So, just for anyone watching, you've got the link is just there. What I'll do is I will put that in the comments as well, and I should have just copied it. Here's hoping I don't miss the R.
You don't miss the R. Hey, Duncan.
I'll just send that out to everyone, so it's a bit easier to link to it. There is certain parts of Facebook that message won't go to for some reason, so it's the link going across the bottom of the screen.
So it says
what we'll do is
Kickstarter.killercomics.com.
Yes. A lot better than me. So what I'll do is I'll just share my screen so we can see the Kickstarter. Ooh. So there it is there. So I'll just refresh the screen in case.
Crocodile plays a prominent part in this story as well. The saltwater crocodile.
Good old saltwater crocodiles.
Yeah.
Now, I think I pressed the wrong button, so I won't be able to play this now because it won't have sound. So we'll just go through this. So you've gotten through 3 stretch goals.
3 stretch, unlocked.
Unlocked. Nice. Very nice.
9 grand gets you a bookmark.
Sweet. Well, how much have we got? We've got $1 grand to go, haven't we? Yeah, so come on, people, pledge. Let's get that bookmark.
Come on, let's get the bookmark. That's Bjorn's work as well. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, nice.
For issue 1 or motion comic poster. We'll see.
Oh, nice. So this is the cover you just showed us, but you can see it a bit better here.
That's way clearer, yeah. Revenge. These are the sexy covers you can get. The sexy variants, the bloody cover. Everyone likes a bit of blood. Then there's a nude, fully nude. The cover's nude. No title.
Nude, she's nude. Everyone's nude. Everyone's crocodile's nude.
It's nude. It's nude all around.
So we got some crocodile action here. Nice. Eating someone. Bit of action there.
Yeah, check out his bike.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like a skeleton. I don't know if you can see that on the screen there.
Conquistador's helmet and everything. He rides it. Look,
really cool.
At all those bikies coming to wreak mayhem on the city. Oh, there's a lot. And there's a free issue.
One man against them.
Yeah, one man can slay them all. Free issue of issue 1 there. If you just want to click on there, if you go through the Kickstarter there's issue 1. You go, oh, maybe I want a taste of the Crucifix Executioner. Well, there you go. You can click on that link and have a read. See if it is the comic book for you.
That's really cool.
Yeah. That ends horrifically, if you remember. As most issues would.
Yes. So who's this? Is that?
That's Mr. Aaron Cassidy, the
It is
writer.
Aaron. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's
Cool.
he couldn't be with us tonight because he's still working on a movie on a set, so he apologizes for not being able to get on.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, he's out gallivanting, working on movies because all of them are coming over to Australia now. So
Oh yeah,
it's good for the film industry.
Nice. That is good for the film industry. So US production, yep. And here's the different rewards.
There's the rewards: Digital Trade Volume 2, Digital Trade Volume 1, Digital Combo. Get your trades Volume 1 and 2 in the Digital
Nice.
Combo. Plus bonus motion comic, plus bonus other creators' digital issues.
Nice.
We're adding that in there. That was in one of the updates. Then you get Issue 8 nude cover.
Oh,
Trade Volume 2 regular cover.
I like
Trade
this art
Volume
with
2.
the blood splatter.
Yes, the blood
Sexy
splatter.
variant, bloody variant, nude variant.
Nude.
Trade combo. Nice. Nice price.
Trade Combo. The Killer Collection.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Wow. It's got Konowski in there as well. Nice.
Kilnowski comes
For
with
anyone-
the Killer Collection. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
You can Kilnowski's an add-on as well if you want to read that. So you can
Add-ons
pick
are
that
down the
on as an
bottom.
add-on.
Yep, there's the add-ons.
Yeah, I think
print
they're
sets,
the prints
print
and single
sets.
issues. Yeah, but yeah,
single issues.
we haven't really said that you can do that, Kilnowski. Maybe it's only in the Killer Collection.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
I know.
We'll see. I think you can get it digitally. I think if you want it printed, I'm not sure. We'll have to have a look. But if you want it, get on to me.
Yeah, get on there. So, Crucifix. So, just as a quick sum it up, like, have you got an elevator pitch? Have you got something just because we're getting to the end of our time with you? So, is there something you can say to get people to want to get this comic?
The series tells the story of a psychic who gets attacked by corrupt detectives. Then, with his grievous brain injury after the attack, he must go around and slay the wicked. He must do it. Otherwise, will his brain implode? Is he possessed and talking to the devil? Who knows? Check it out in Crucifix Executioner Volume 2.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That's awesome.
awesome.
Thank you, Duncan.
No worries.
I'll just stop sharing that.
And just remember, the wicked will be slain.
Nice. I like the voiceovers. Do you do any of the voiceovers for your comic?
Yeah,
your
I talk
motion
for
comic?
like 7 characters.
For 7 characters.
7 of them, yeah.
How
Quite
do
the
you
talent. Quite the talent.
variety for that?
Yeah, well, you just gotta prepare. Like, what do I do for trying to think back? I talk for George. He's a bit like, what do you mean I didn't do that? Trying to get into the character takes you a little bit. Like, Kevin talks more like this with the teeth. I'll make them pay. If it was a corrupt cop, I'll make them pay.
No, the wicked will be slain.
Got a bit of a head cold. I could do the voices a lot better, but yeah, give it time to warm up. Yeah, I did. Who am I? Matt Parsons, Crucifix Executioner. My brother does Glenn's voice, and there we sound very
nice.
similar. I do George as well. I do the bum. Monty. My God, Monty, you killed Monty. You killed the dick of Monty. You killed him. Got him. Who else we got? Yeah, George. Yeah, I just made George sound a bit like dumber than usual. He's like a dumb detective sort of thing, but it's just the way he talks. Did a couple of the bikies. Yeah. And I had a handful of actors that did a lot of the other ones. I got Cassie, Matthew, Dave, and
Nice.
really good actor did the priest's voice in Scottish or Irish. I think it was his native tongue. He did an awesome job in that. So yeah, If you want to check out the motion comic, it'll have all them.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Well, I'm getting lost in my computer here, so you'll have to
He's lost and can't be found.
just bear with me. Well, thank you, Duncan. It was a pleasure to have you on tonight.
No
I'm
worries.
forgetting
Thanks
what
for having
time of
me.
day it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyone watching, check out kickstarter.killercomics.com. That'll take you to the Kickstarter. Check out the different pledge levels. Figure out what you want and pledge. Get
And
some of
pledge
this
away,
great
yeah.
story into you. Yeah.
Get it into you.
If it's anything like Kilnowski, it's going to be a great story. So yeah.
All right,
We're
back us on the Kickstarter. The wicked will be slain, regardless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Duncan. You have a
All
great
right, thank
night.
you. Thanks for having me. I'll be up
Yeah,
until tomorrow.
Yeah. Have fun with work.
I will do. Thanks, guys. Have a
Take
good
care,
one.
man.
See ya, man.
See
Have
ya.
a good one. See ya. Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Now it's time for. That was a bit slow.
Yeah.
ComX Studio presents NOIR, your issue 1 stories and all the artists, creators, I should say, behind those stories. So we'll start bringing them on one by one. I'll just move this picture away. And first we've got Ed. Hey, Ed.
Hello.
Ed.
Hey.
Then we got Peter. Let's do it in order. Peter.
Heyo.
Hey, Pete. Yeah.
Got Tony.
Hey.
Hey, Tony.
Hey,
Tony.
mate. How's things?
Good, thanks. And we've got Zach. Isaac. G'day, Isaac.
How you going?
Got Rob. Rob was a bit slow. He's at the end here. And that's
Hi.
all we've got so far.
Are we live? Is this on? Are we live? What's?
Yes, we're live, Rob. We're live.
And you can't smell me, right?
No, can't smell you, so you're fine.
I'm on a showering detox. I haven't showered for a week and a half. It's just good to it opens the pores up and makes you
I won't
That
ask. I won't
smell-o-vision
ask.
is working.
Is that fuck you at the devil's toilet?
Smells
The
like the devil's
devil's
toilet. Oh, nice. So,
No,
while we're waiting for people... Oh, hang on. Yep, sorry. You're plugging.
No, go, please.
No. So what we'll do is we'll just go through everyone's story. I'll go in the order that you guys are on the screen. So that means poor old Ed gets chosen first. Ed, tell us a bit about your story in Presents Issue 1, Final Dragon.
Oh, my story is called Final Dragon. It's a karate comic book. It's based loosely on the 80s video game Double Dragon. And it's like I have colored it in an old school kind of style as well. So the whole thing
Yeah, I'm
looks like
loving
an old comic book.
Yeah, that's
And
really
it's,
cool, actually.
Thanks. And it's a story about revenge, and I've also kind of tried to mix in some 90s like image style kind of crazy stuff in there as well. So I'm trying to find a balance between the 80s like shooter era Marvel and then the early 90s stuff where everyone went crazy and everyone's screaming for no reason and stuff.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Ed.
No worries.
I'll let Duncan in. G'day, Duncan.
Hey, yep. How's it going?
Hey, man.
There you go.
Come on.
So in order of the boxes on the screen, that leaves Zach to tell us about Vivian Jones.
He's an occult detective, and he's a drunk. Just nice. So I'm sorry to Happy Harold. I promise you that will be printed in the book. But it's everyone in the universe is a giraffe humanoid. So I just wanted to break from drawing growing, so I'm like, I draw giraffes.
Truly inspired. Awesome. Cool. So, yeah, you can't say any more without giving away the story, I guess. So, I guess that moves us on to Tony, who's Killer B.
I'm. Oh, sorry, mate. You go.
No, I was just saying Killer B is the title.
Yeah, Killer B. I'm in the in issue 1 of ComX Presents Noir, so which is the black and white version of the comic. So no filthy colour in our prestigious issue. Killer B is a one-off. It's a one-off 8-pager. It's sort of in the vein of the old Alfred Hitchcock Presents. So it's sort of a murder mystery, but not so much of a mystery because you sort of get a feeling who did it by the title of the comic. I don't know if you do. But no, the title character is Beatrix Beagleman. And she's a mid-70s pensioner in a non-descript English town, a lovely little village, and she's a very, very interesting lady. She's very clever. She's very sharp. She's very dangerous when put in a corner. And basically, when Bea was a little girl, when she was around 13, she had a pretty traumatic event happen to her. As a young girl, which I won't go too much into too many details, but she was blinded. She was blinded as a young girl, so she's lost her vision in her right eye. She has a nasty scar down vertically down the entirety of the right side of her face. What else can I tell you without giving too much away? There are bees involved. She is a bee. There may be a murder investigation going on. There's a bit of a theme in these anthology comics between me and Zach and Spedsy, and there's a whole lot of murder. Murder makes good stories. I don't know why.
Nice. Thanks, Tony.
No worries.
Another reason to get the book, Killer B. So, in the order of the boxes here, we've got Peter next. So, Peter, tell us about Foes.
Hi, guys. Foes is the story of a rivalry between an alien and a demon who ideally would both like to take over the world and wipe out humans, but they can't seem to get past their hatred of each other. So that would be the main goal of theirs, but little things get them sidetracked, like who can get a job the best, who has a better sense of fashion, who can scare some poor guy at a bus stop more. And my aim was to sort of create the real sort of wacky, hard 90s cartooning, but for adults.
Nice.
Cool.
So with
very cool. And it's
the unpleasantness and
lots of humor
intact. Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of humor. Yes. Well, is that it? You got nothing more you can say without ruining it?
I'm trying to use a lot of the really classic alien and demon tropes, things you might see in like The Exorcist or movies like Signs, the classic flying saucer crop circle versus, scary little girl who's possessed by a demon.
Nice.
And how those things would work if they collided.
Awesome.
And, yeah, the sort of wackiness and anarchy that would ensue if those two types of creatures did in fact meet and use their weapons against each other.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It
awesome.
is.
Thanks, Peter. And,
no worries.
And I'll bring in Dave, who's just popped in, although it looks like his camera's not working. Hi, Dave.
Hey, an invisible Dave Dye.
Yeah, my camera's not working for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
It's the best you've ever looked, mate. you're a handsome mate.
Cool.
Okay.
Before we move on to Rob, I'll just let Lee in. So, hello, Lee.
Hello.
Yes.
How I'm running late.
G'day, Lee.
Beard and comics. Sorry,
and that's
Rob.
everyone. Oh well, I wasn't sure for a second there, but yeah, that's everyone.
Hi,
I lost track. Hello,
gentlemen. Hello, everyone. And
Hello,
hello,
Hey, Lee.
How are you, mate?
Doing good. How's everything there?
Yeah, it's good, mate. It's good. Sorry, Shane, am I allowed to have a cigarette on tonight's show, or is that against, like...
Have a cigarette. Have
Oh,
a cigarette. You do on Saturday morning, so what's...
Oh, I haven't done for the last couple of weeks, mate. Like, give me a break.
Yes.
Come on. And I tell you what, by the time the show's been over, I've been absolutely hanging.
Shane,
Well,
he's right. He
this
hasn't
is-
done it the
This
past
has
few
stuffed up all the order here. So I know Rob was next. So Rob, tell us about... I was going to say Devil's Toilet.
Frankly enough, I'm tell you a little bit about the Devil's Toilet because it ties in. My story is Frederick Poloni, the Total Detective. But previously in the Spedziverse, the Devil's Toilet, one of my other books, sees a literal toilet become sentient and escape hell and come to Earth, unwittingly bringing with him the apocalypse. So demons are taking over human vessels and are near impossible to find. So who better to flush them out than the person who did it the first time on the other side of the world over 130 years ago? ComX Presents is the story of Frederick Poloni, the Total Detective, who, when not hunting Jack the Ripper, is ripping demons from their human flesh suits. That is until visitors from the future come begging for his help to save the world once again. So you don't need to have read my previous books, but it does tie into the overall shenanigans, and it's going to be a good time. And I've got 2 pages left on my first installment, and I think it's some of the best art I've ever done. So I'm pretty chuffed with the whole thing.
Oh, sweet.
Good on you,
Yeah.
mate.
Good stuff. And I'll just let Lee back in. I'm just going to try and see what this button does.
Oh,
Well, that's a bit better.
Oh,
Fancy.
Now we've got... Oh, look at that. The 2 no cameras are with each other. Nice.
Yeah, perfect alignment.
So thanks for that, Rob. I'm looking forward to that story as well. 2 pages off, eh? That's awesome. And he's doing that. So, Duncan.
Yeah.
Tell us about Ben Kitty. Blood Hail, is that it?
Yes, it's like the
Blood
subheading. Yeah.
Subheading,
Ben Kitty Blood Hail. Ben Kitty is essentially like just, I guess, to summarize the first issue. Wakes up, has no idea who she is, but she's got a hole in her forehead, covered in blood, with a dead body next door. And, through sussing things out, she finds out that pretty much it's the MO of one of the most notorious serial killers in the state. And so, in trying to find, said serial killer, she ends up discovering an entire hierarchy of a big cabal of serial killers and a whole. It goes high up. It goes all the way to the top.
Interesting.
And Blood Hail, it's just pretty much like a side quest to that, in trying to take down one of these 9 that make up the group of serial killers. Ends up coming across these, I guess you can call them suicidal terrorists who want to shoot up a stadium of 40,000 people, and pretty much it's up to a large cat with a hole in his forehead to put a stop to that. Basically,
excellent. That's the perfect perfect cat to deal with.
Exactly.
A cat with a hole in the head.
Cat.
Yeah, cat.
Keep that in mind. It's a thing. So
it's a thing. Yes.
You're right. Yeah. No one ever refers to
Duncan.
her as a cat.
No one
That's right.
except the reader.
Well, the reader's her. It's sort of narrated. So she narrates it herself.
Okay.
Pretty much the reader sees what she sees and hears. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi, I apologize. I'm getting a weird thing like many voices are talking all over the top of each other at once. It's strange. It's like some are speaking earlier, some are speaking later. So if I drop in and out, I mean, disrespect.
Thanks, Lee.
That's okay.
So you say having some Reception problems. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should go with you next in case you drop out again. So, Lee, tell us about Marathon.
Okay. Well, a couple of fine chaps the other day wrote a synopsis of it that when I read it, I thought, oh, bloody hell, that sounds all right. And then I realised it was my story. So anyway, I'll read it to you. This is Shane and Jerome have read this one. So here you go. Within a world dying from within, a small settlement called Marathon is in dire straits. Isolated with no resources, its only route is to the outside world is the great coastal settlement. Between both places, a brave group called Runners became the lifeblood of Marathon, bringing valuable information and resources back to the small town. All is well until they stopped coming back. The Runners are decimated, and it's up to Ambrose Chapel, the last runner, to uphold their sworn duty, and Jason, an apprentice, is off to see his hero. Will Ambrose discover what forces spirit away the Runners of Marathon? So there you go. Shane and Jerome. There you are. That's it. So I can't do any better than that. So, yeah. All right.
Nice. Thank you, Lee.
Well,
that's all right.
There's a funny story about that, but
yeah. Tell us.
Yeah. Well, basically, when I was writing that, and I asked Shane to give me quick details about everything, he literally messaged me what he remembered about what you said about Marathon, and I thought it was it felt like the words are exactly from you. I almost transcribed them word for word.
I don't know who that guy is, me, but I tell you what, it didn't sound like it was from me, mate. So.
I was channeling you, Lee. I was channeling you.
Thank you very much. I can't really say anything better about the story than that, to be honest with you. So thank you, guys, and on to the next person.
Yep, next person's Dave, the voice from the dark.
Yeah, sorry about this. I don't know what's going on.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
My camera.
Technical issues.
I didn't have a microphone either. That's why I was a little bit late joining. I was just trying to get something going, and it's just been, I don't know what's going on. Okay. So you want me to just briefly tell you about Impulse?
Tell us
there?
About Impulse. Yeah, just not ruin the story, but just tell us a little about it, like a teaser.
All right. Well, basically, it's set in a capital city in Australia somewhere. It could be Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney, Hobart, Darwin, or maybe not Darwin the way they. Oh, yeah, maybe in a city, and it's about what happens to a young down and out fellow who is a street person, lives on the streets, and he hasn't got much money to his name. He's sort of living from dole check to dole check and that sort of thing, and doesn't seem to have much future and like that. Anyway, the situation with noir stories I understand, is that they're supposed to sort of tell a story about someone who makes a decision which can lead to another decision, which will lead to another decision, which snowballs and things get out of control. And this story is told mostly through his thoughts as he goes through this experience. And what happens is he's walking along the street and he sees something that he's always wanted, and he thinks, "Oh, I've got to get that." But he hasn't got any money, of course. So what's he going to do? He's going to knock it off.
Yeah.
So he does that. One thing leads to another, and next thing you know, it's a bit more serious than the original stealing crime that he's done. And then
so it escalates quickly.
It escalates, yeah. And before long, he's pushed himself into a one-way street, which is just getting worse and worse. And escalates to a point which he thinks there's no return from, and he makes even worse decisions.
Yeah.
And then there's a big finale at the end, which really puts him over the edge.
Cool.
That's
it's a good
it.
story. I've read it actually, so I get to cheat. I've actually read it. Good story.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
It's an awesome story. Thanks, Dave.
It was a good one to write, and it was good fun to illustrate. I really enjoyed it, and you know, I'm looking through the pages now, and I'm quite happy with the way it's turned out.
Yeah, it is. I would be too.
That's about it.
Cool. So this is where it gets like mayhem now. So there's 10 of us on the screen. We've all told our stories.
Mayhem.
So I didn't think of any mayhem. I didn't think of any questions to ask because I was expecting that to take up all the time. But the stories, I should have realized that the stories wouldn't take 5 minutes each to tell.
What about telling the viewers the schedule for Presents and Presents Noir now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Well, Presents is we are starting a Kickstarter on the 1st of July, and that will run through July for 28 days, I believe. And then we plan to publish the color version, so just ComX Studio Presents. That's the color one. That will be published in early August. And so that will be an August comic. And NOIR is a September comic. But for people who support the Kickstarter, you will actually get NOIR a month early.
Oh, Kickstarter exclusive.
Kickstarter exclusive. So it won't be available in the ComX Shop, which is where we'll be selling it, until September. But if you get it in the Kickstarter, you will get it the same time as the color Presents.
Nice. And each issue has 4 stories?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Each issue has 4 stories, 8 pages long each. Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. There's 8 pages to each story. Each creators come in with their own story. Some of the stories continue on to the next issue. Some of them are standalone. There's no real pattern to that. I believe all the stories in the Presents color edition is they go for at least the first 3 issues that they continue on. All 4 stories. The NOIR is a little different. There's I believe Lee's story continues on. Tony's is standalone, sort of. We were in a bit of a
there's a bit of wiggle room for some shenanigans down the track there.
Yes. And then Duncan's continues on, and Dave's is a standalone.
Nice.
Cool. So,
Shane, can I interrupt for a tick? Tony.
Yeah, sure.
Man, you showed me an image last night. I was talking to the NOIR guys, Tony. I was talking to Duncan. I was talking to Dave, just to get a feel, just a few questions about the character of theirs, which I'm about to draw. You know, like nuances, varying things. And Tony throws up this drawing where I've got to be honest with you, Tony, I'm cheated you a bit. I've sent it out to the other dudes and gone, have a look at this, you know, like, and mate, it's pretty good. If you had it available, if it's not rude to any of the other guys, like, mate, you have to have a look at this Tony Menzies drawing of the 4 NOIR characters. It's awesome.
Well, that was one thing I was going to ask Duncan. I wasn't sure with Ben Kitty the scale, so I've made Ben Kitty fairly large in mine. So I hope that's okay, man.
I saw that and I thought that was like, I think it's fine. She's about 4'11" in the story, but
so
scale,
maybe she's standing on a crate.
It's fine. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's standing on something. Someone.
So that's the other thing I can tell about the comics. Oh, sorry, Dave.
I was just going to tell Duncan, I think I may have gone a little bit less than 4, but that's okay.
That's all right.
She's sitting down. She's hunched down. You know, like how cats sit on their tail.
I can't even be consistent with my own height. She's like bigger and smaller. Nothing's consistent.
Mate, I thought it was great, the four of us talking together last night just via text and stuff, having a yarn about that sort of thing. Because, it's cool, man. Like I look forward to seeing those covers when that comes out. Because
the funny thing was, Lee, when you asked me if Killer Bee was in a wheelchair, and I'd never considered it, but man, I wish I had now. She'd be great in a wheelchair. That would have been a really good twist.
Well, after talking to you on Saturday and seeing those images and stuff, these things have take place, like the cover and stuff. So I've been thinking about your character and Duncan's character and Dave's character and stuff, and I just sort of got to the point last night where I was sketching, and I thought, like, no, you can draw a stick figure, but it may not convey what you want in that character, if you know what I mean. So I just thought there's a few little pointing questions to each character that I wanted to ask, and the really weird part is it came back exactly bang. Okay, yep, got it. Just that's cool. That's all good. Leave it with me.
Awesome.
So it was nice conversations, man, last night. But I'm really looking forward to doing noir. I'm really looking forward to seeing like presents. Like you got, man. It's a good crew. It's a really nice crew of people, mate. And
we were going to have a like color guys versus the noir guys.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
I can move all the screens around and put you all one against each other if you want.
Yeah. We'll do one of those combative dances like from a music. Ours is in color. Yours is in
That's right. You're the singer in that band.
When someone says don't quit your day job, I literally did quit my day job to do music. So.
Oh, you got the voice of an angel, mate. Like, fair enough.
This is something.
We're on the precipice, mate, of having a good old crack at things, man. So like, I absolutely applaud you guys for like digging in and having a punt and meeting deadlines, and I certainly hope I can meet my deadline because the old whip cracker up there in the left-hand top corner, man. Like, oh my God!
You've got the same deadline as us, then, right? If you're joining our Kickstarter, have you got the same deadline?
No.
No, we're a month later.
Yeah. A month later. So what will happen is they'll finish their books, like the color books are all finished when we go into the Kickstarter. The black and white noir is going to be finished at the end of the Kickstarter, ready to print straight away.
Sweet.
Awesome. That's how we can print them for the backers and get them out sooner than they're actually released.
So there's not a noir Kickstarter. We're all in sort of like the one. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's all one. Mostly because of the rules of Kickstarter. That is why that's happened. We were sort of forced into a corner to do that. So, and it's worked well. It's working well. So it's just
awesome.
Nice. So Dave has already finished. Is that?
Yeah, Dave's already finished.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Dave's a machine.
Right?
God damn.
I finished mine as well.
Yeah, Ed's on like part 14 already.
I've started part 2. I got 2 panels done on part 2 so far.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you know what I'm running with? I've got that much crap going on, like drawing wise and writing wise and stuff, and juggling life and all that sort of stuff, that I'm just, mate, I said to Tam the other day, you won't see me from the 1st of July until the 28th. And she's like, why is that? And I'm like, man, I've got to belt out like 10 full-on pages in, 3 weeks. And it's like, oh. So it's, if she was here now, she'd probably say it's a nice holiday. But, like, no, I've got to the point where it's like, because my other thing's still going to Battle for Bustles. So, like, I'm still drawing that and moving that along, and I'm trying to fit this in. And, but, Yeah, no, it'll be good. I'll be there. You can rely on Lee.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
We can rely on
I'll
you.
put the whip away. I'll put the whip away for now.
Please.
When Dave was saying that Shane is a slave driver, I didn't believe it. But when I saw the messages in the back in the groups,
brutal.
Oh, mate.
It's the language I use. That's probably the worst part.
I feel so dirty too.
You know what it is?
Well,
the man's so enthusiastic about things. He never sleeps, mate. You know, like honestly,
No.
it's like just,
He's going at 2 and 3 in the morning sending this stuff through. I'm going, dude.
yeah, he loves Australian comics. This dude up here in the left, eh? It's like I'm telling you, he loves them, and so should
Yes, I
everyone
do.
else that's listening.
So should everyone else. Yes, everyone should love Australian comics. Definitely.
Shane, with the Kickstarter, when is official launch?
The official launch is 5 p.m. the 1st of July, I think, is when I've set it for. It's either 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. I can't remember now.
Okay, sure.
That's Australian Eastern Standard Time for anyone in another state. So yeah, 1st of July.
Man,
I wasn't meant to give that away till a little while ago, but it slipped out in one of the other shows. So sleepers for the week. Yes, that's true. Sleepers for the week.
Sleepers
for the week. I mean, sleep all week. Sleep all week.
Sleep all week. Yes, there's always that as well. But I'll get plenty of sleep when I'm dead. That's the other one I like to say.
Sure.
That's almost like the old quote about, oh yeah, I like seafood. Seafood needed.
I need my 8 hours a night of sleep and 10 during the day.
And 10 during the day.
That's an old joke.
Nice. Well, what I'll do, just quickly, I should have had this arranged for the people watching so they can get a picture of each person. So I'll start with Ed. And that'd be, yep, there he is. I'm not going to get you to talk. I'm just going to show you a picture.
Oh,
so
they're going to
this
be
is Final Dragon.
Look at that.
This is Final Dragon.
That's awesome.
Okay, so, and then we've got Peter. So this is Foes.
I got a visual aid printed off as well. I can show.
Oh, nice.
We got a thing.
Oh, nice. Hang on, I'll just zoom in on you.
Wow, man, that's awesome.
Cool.
That looks awesome.
Have you framed that yet, Pete? You should.
I will. At some
That's
point.
awesome, man.
Focus on Dementus. Zero.
That's cool, mate.
Sweet.
Man.
So next in line is Tony. There we go, Killer B. So that's a visual for everyone.
Oh, what a beautiful woman.
Sick.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's weird because Tony inadvertently drew my grandmother. Killer B looks exactly my grandmother. Like my grandmother, you know?
When was the last time you paid her a visit, man? That's
Actually, she's just my neighbor. So no problem about that, man.
Hopefully she's not called B.
Well, her name starts with B, so
You're in trouble, Jerome. You're in trouble.
give her a
Be very nice to her. Be
You know
very
how
nice
you
to her.
friends? None of us do. You'll have to read the issue. If that's the case, it's right.
I say nothing.
So, okay, and then I'll move on to the next one. So we got Marathon by Lee.
Yeah.
Dude,
There's a visual for everyone to see what's going on there.
Nice.
man.
Well, right.
That's awesome.
And we've got Ben Kitty by Duncan.
Yeah.
Blood Hail. There's the Putty Cat with the hole in her head.
Blood Hail.
That's cool.
And
Very
we've
cool.
got Rob. Oh, I forgot to load Rob's one. No, just
Don't worry about it. Oh.
Frederick Trelawney.
Yes, Trelawney, not Cellini.
That's right. I was nearly going to give you a bit of carry about that and say Frederick Trelawney, not Cellini, but I thought, oh, no.
I did it myself. It's all good.
Chadwick Salami.
Vivian Jones, Occult Detective by Zach.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
Nice. Our beautiful giraffe humanoids. And Dave's not back, but we will show his Impulse. And there's the kid. The kid gets himself in trouble.
Hey, you know,
making one bad decision after another.
I've got a great deal of admiration for Dave Dye too, because that man just creates and just keeps going, man.
Yeah.
Hey?
Never heard you speak things about Dave Dye before. This is new.
Yeah, I know. I can't help it. I really like the man's stuff, mate. His artwork and that. Honestly, I do. Maybe I do have a love, and Rob, maybe you're jealous. I don't know. As Dave said the other day.
I reckon Peter should do a follow-on series to Foes called Bros, and it's Lee and Dave. Just
Peter, I will send you reference material from my end as soon as physically possible, if that's the game. Like,
Mine's a bit more grounded.
Thank God.
Oh, Lee, you've got the best laugh in the business, man.
I don't know. It's been described as a hyena or a crow, and
don't let the assholes drag you down. It's brilliant, man.
Nah, fuck them, man. I don't worry about that.
It's a hyena making love to a crow. That's what it sounds like.
I've never heard it described like that, Robert. Thank you very much. I'm not going to laugh anymore now. Oh, bugger.
Listen to that poor crow. Get off the hyena.
Yeah. They're close. That family.
What else can we tell the viewers about the Kickstarter campaign? Is there anything else we can, not trying to get an exclusive out of you, Shane, but
No. Well,
throw some bait in the water.
We've got a high level, a high tier, I guess you could call it. I don't know, mega pack. A limited mega pack, I think I'm calling it. And what that includes is a original piece by each artist. Not in each pack. There's 8 packs, 8 artists, 8 drawings. So 1 drawing per pack. And it's pretty much a case of first in, first served. If you're the first person, you get to pick who your artist is. The second person gets to pick from who's left, and so on. So it's a race.
I can't wait to get picked last, just like in high school.
Oh, no. The plan is I'm not going to tell you where you came. I'm not going to tell anyone. There'll be no.
We'll find out.
There you go, Rob. You're a winner.
You'll find out because they do have numbers, unfortunately. So the pledges will be able to tell you where they were in the order. So. It can be worked if you try hard enough, you'll be able to work it out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
might try and grab 1 or 2 myself. That's a really good deal.
Yeah. So so that's
and you're sending a stocked card with ComX printed on the bottom as well. Is that what you were saying the other day?
It'll be a special. I don't know the art terms, but yeah, A5 sheet with the ComX logo printed on it. That's it. Crystal board.
That's a great idea.
I've asked for 115 sheets so that I can fuck it up 114 That's why
You're lucky you've got a tablet, mate, because I might go through 250.
Okay, I'm just going to write down some new numbers for what I'm getting printed.
Is anyone worried about the rolling deadline once the Kickstarter starts?
Always.
That's why I'm on tension too.
Rob very much in agreement. Zach nodding.
I keep telling my wife, after July 28th, I'll be able to do stuff again. And then I'm like, only for about 3 days.
Until August 2nd.
You'll load yourself up.
No, not July 28th, June 28th, yeah. And I told people July 28th deadline for Vamoose too. So I got to try and fit that in. So, yeah.
How's that going?
You can do it.
Yeah, I've done
Oh,
3
we've got
pages.
Dave on camera.
Everyone else
Did you find your Rob? Did you find someone for that page or two?
Hey, there he is.
No,
There's
not
the-
yet.
There's the champ.
Not yet. Okay. I've been trying to come up with an idea, but I haven't yet. So if I do, I'll give you a bell. If not,
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'll blank you.
Yeah, awesome. There's that.
You know what? I reckon everyone should come up with like a really theatrical thespian version of like Shane and Jerome. You had that dude Duncan Cunningham on before, and he was doing voiceovers and stuff. And in the last couple of days and stuff, I've my thoughts have wandered to that, and we should all write a synopsis and have a crack at doing thespian type vocal, go at it. Like, why not? Oh, just a synopsis even. Like, I don't know, like with Kickstarters and stuff, I reckon that sort of stuff, strangely interests people, man. Like, you seen the crap on TikTok? I don't watch that stuff, but everyone I know is talking about it. It's like, seriously.
Dude, it's a black hole of weirdness.
Oh, man. But you got to try things.
You want us to read out the synopsis of our story with a thespian tone?
Yes.
Or like a movie preview.
Movie preview, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Use it for the Kickstarter video.
Why not? I don't know. We don't know. It may be rubbish, but you can't.
Well, I can put images to that, so if you just want to do voices, so yeah.
No.
The devil's toilet sees a literal toilet become
See,
a
there you go.
Nice.
Through the ages.
How did you come up with that name, Rob? For
the Devil's Toilet. Frederick Cheloney. Well, Cheloney is another word for turtle, or it's some sort of, there's a species of turtle that's a Cheloney, and then Fred Cheloney.
This bloody show is amazing. Just what people must be learning from watching ComX. Incredible.
It's an education, man, isn't it?
It's
Really
all
Google
about
it.
fun, isn't it, mate?
There you go.
Yeah, it's Chelonia. Turtles are reptiles of the order Chelonia.
Oh, there you go. Didn't know.
Chelene?
Do your Spanish accent, Rob, that you did out a couple of weeks ago with Chiloni.
Dance monkey.
Oh, Italiano, come on.
No, that was my French. What are you talking about? That was my French.
Thanks, Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound Italian. That's
I don't know accent. I can do this well. This is my other accent.
I won't
World
even try. I'm not going to go there.
Rob. World domination.
I'll dominate you in a minute, you lousy geezer.
Oh, well, you got to come about 2,500 Ks for that, mate. So settled down.
We will be careful.
The phrasing in that sentence is
Oh, makes me laugh. You wouldn't get past Mackay, mate. You turn back because of the heat. My
I legit
vengeance
don't know
isn't
where
worth
Council is. So.
a long way north, mate.
I've got.
Too
Here's
far
my.
north.
Can you see that?
Oh, here we go.
Hang on, I'll just boost you up.
Oh,
What's your
dude.
cover so far? Nice.
Beautiful.
Dave, that's
Awesome.
brilliant, man.
Very cool.
She's sitting in a chair, mate, not
No,
wheelchair.
that's good. She's had a long day. She's knackered.
Yeah.
That's so good.
There's the bin kitty sitting on the armrest.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dave,
oh,
I'm not
lovely.
allowed to speak my appreciation of you tonight. Wow.
I did that
That's brilliant,
after you
man.
shared
Well
that photo that Tony did last night. I thought, geez, I haven't even started on that, so I better do something. So before I went to bed, I knocked that one up. I thought, geez, I can't go to bed till I get something done.
Mate, I'm 2 weeks behind you. Don't worry about that. It's okay. Yes.
done.
Yeah,
I'm coming last in this race, guys.
oh mate, yeah, I'm surprised. I've got it all done. The story's done. The title page, the cover page, the advertising page. What else we got to do?
That's it.
Because I
You
did
can do
cover, yeah.
this one here. I didn't know
Two
about.
pages for photos.
My washing, the dishes.
Part 2 and 3 of Frederick
There's,
Trelawney.
there's a bit out the front that needs to be repainted.
Don't worry, I've got enough of those sort of jobs here to do.
I got a couple of tree branches banging against the gutter, mate. You can whip up here if you want and knock them off too. So
Oh, yeah, well, there's enough banging going on up there, I'm sure, without me adding to it, mate.
Hello. Oh.
are you suggesting that it's windy day?
Oh, yeah, windy, mate.
Ah, yes. Yes, it is very windy.
Oh, it writes itself. doesn't
Okay,
it?
Lee, when did you see me as a sleep driver?
I beg your pardon, Zach. What was that, mate?
When Shank fails to be the main slave driver for you, then you have to deal with me who's putting the book together.
There's slave driving there for sure.
Yeah.
I think Zach's
Yeah.
just got final say, yeah?
I've got the
Yeah,
whip.
yeah. Well, thank you for that too, Zach. And
Just that added pressure for you, just that little bit extra.
yeah, no, that's cool, man. I don't need any more of that, but I'll get through it. But it's,
Just when Shane put down the whip.
Yeah, I'm putting down the whip. Well, what I'll do
Shane's
now?
probably sent a message through to you, Zach, hasn't he? I won't say anything now. I'll let Zach say something.
Great. No, I'll be doing my own deadline. Don't worry.
Well, I was just going to interrupt, just so everyone knows who's watching, with these covers that we were just shown, where people within the comic, they take all the characters from the other stories and make a cover in their style. So we've actually got the Presents color. They've already done their covers. So we've got Zach's cover with all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
They're in the smoke there.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's
Ellen
good.
will be there, I swear.
That
It's a work in
looks
progress.
different. Vivian looks very different there, mate.
That's one of the villains from the book.
Oh, right. Right. Okay. So most of the characters in the book are giraffes?
Everyone's giraffe.
All of them, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Everyone.
Everyone's a giraffe, right.
Dave, I'm totally in sync with Zach's idea because everyone that's in my society is a giraffe as well, mate. So it was unusual that Zach was almost like he was living in Townsville.
My mum lives in Townsville.
Oh, well, similar climate, I suppose, mate.
Okay, so And then we've got Ed's cover. We'll just jump straight into that. With, I keep calling him Karate Guy. What's his name, Ed?
Bobby Long.
Bobby Long. Okay,
Bobby
sorry.
Long. Sorry, I got the giggles on it. I don't mean it.
And we got Peters with all the characters doing a photo shoot.
Yeah, excellent.
Very nice. And we've got Rob's, a scene of the crime.
You're all such like distinct styles, man. That's the best
Yeah,
thing.
very
It's like
distinct,
you're all so different. You got your own vibes going on. It's awesome.
And that's the
So I'm
magic
really
of
looking
these
forward to the
anthologies,
NOIR
isn't it?
ones as well now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So am I.
Yeah, I should have one the next couple of days. I'll probably finish that tomorrow.
Your machine, Dave. Your machine.
Really?
It's all right for me. I can work on this stuff. Everyone else has got day jobs. I can work on this through the day, so I'm lucky.
Nice.
Yeah. You poor
Dave,
buggers.
do you like rip into the old, like, you know, now you said in an interview once that your drawing desk was from Picture or People magazines, didn't you?
Mm.
Oh yeah,
From a mail order, yeah.
Have a look. May I, if it's okay, just get you while we're talking. Can you show these guys your drawing desk? It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Look at that.
Wow. Nice.
Came with these clips. Hang on, no, it didn't. Where did I get the clips from? I think I've just bought them in the shop. These came with a box of drawing pins. I was supposed to stick drawing pins to hold the paper on, but I use these clips here.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's two of them.
So do you move that? Do you move that desk around, or do you move the paper around when you got to get to different angles, man?
I'll sometimes I'll have it'll be clipped on like that. That's an A3 sheet.
Yeah.
I'll just work on a clip. But then sometimes I have to move it, so I unclip it and just raise it up or turn it around or whatever, and then put it back in the clip when I want to go back to the standard operating procedure. But,
What's that page you're working on there, Dave?
What's that, mate?
What's that page you're working on there?
That's Rick McLean.
Nice.
Exclusive.
Oh, there's an exclusive, all right.
Yeah.
I finished the outlines today, and I'm just got to go in and spot the blacks now.
Brilliant, man.
So I've done most of them.
Wow, definitely, man. You're a workhorse, Dave.
Oh,
beautiful.
Oh, wow.
So is this to a Spedsy script?
No, this is actually this one here. I've got an old on the back has got a story for Dropship 15 that I never finished.
Oh.
Well, I finished it, but I thought I can't waste that paper. There's a whole story with Dropship 15 that I abandoned because it was too controversial.
Interesting.
I've been accused of being, racist and different things. So you just got to. That story was even worse than the ones I got accused for being a racist in. So I've canned it.
Dave, it was probably a year back. I think I heard you go on to a podcast where they insinuated a bit of that in the review, and you, to your undying credit, went on and talked through the process, and they saw your point of view that it wasn't anything like that.
No,
it was their interpretation thereof. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just a common thing that we have to be. That we're all under that worry now. You say something and people too easily offended or take things the wrong way and can mail you and label you as being something that was totally not intended.
Yeah.
And even in my last Amazing Tales #4, the chiller issue, one person that I showed reviewed that. They called me, they said I was having a go at lesbians, and I was being rude to them and anti-lesbian and stuff for that. And what? How do you see that in that? Oh, okay. I can't see it, but
Yeah.
I'm, I think because I'm, making excuses, I suppose. I'm a baby boomer. I'm 62 years old, so
Yeah.
I got a different way of looking at things. To my way I grew up's different, and sometimes I have trouble adjusting to the 2020s, and that's an excuse, I guess. But it's always something I have to double check with and stuff.
Oh, but mate, again with that podcast you went on to and you weren't, defending yourself per se, but you were going on the show to discuss your reasoning, your inspiration, your background for the story, and I really admire you for doing that, mate. Because most people would go, "Oh, well, screw that." But you've gone that extra mile. You've contacted them and sort of stayed in touch, and and they've reviewed further stuff from you, and then they've given it glowing reviews, haven't they?
Oh yeah. It's just one particular story and one particular part of the story. I don't think they minded the story. There's just the way that I presented a couple of the characters in there, and because of the structure, the original structure of the story. Actually, that story that I've just not printed or not gone ahead with is probably one of the first ones I did, and it was really because it was very anti-ISIS. I'm anti-terrorist, but if you say you put a terrorist in Arab garb, you're considered to be picking on the Arab race.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Yeah.
For me, it's not about that. It's about terrorism. I was trying to say something about terrorism.
Yeah, it's about the actions, not the garb or the. Yeah.
So once you do that, and then when I started to change things a little, it started to. It got grey and it became muddled as to who I was having a go at, I suppose, and I don't know. I think that's where it sort of it got out of control a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say about opinions, Dave, so don't worry about it, man.
Dave, I agree with Jerome, and I would like to say that I've had multiple conversations with you. I've had a lot of friend talk, professional talk. What we do is draw together and that sort of stuff. And mate, I certainly would cast aside, if I was you, any of those things that were thrown at you, mate, because I certainly have not ever thought that about you, mate. You're just a storyteller, and sometimes, and you're never going to get everyone happy with everything you do, are you?
No.
And you're certainly not what those people have labelled you, mate, in my time with you. So I would very like to stand with you and say, look, mate, you're all good with me, man.
Nothing but a gentleman, Dave.
Yep, exactly. And I'll tell you guys, as the only brown guy so far in the room, I can tell everyone who's listening here that Dave is a very classy guy. So he is.
If you've just joined us, this is the Dave Dye fan club. If you've had a good
well, I'm the president, mate. We've already established that.
Mate, you're president.
You can cast your votes, and guess what? I ain't moving from this seat, man.
Well, that's right. Well, I'll probably send in that mob that did the review. I like them. I think they're good people. And it's just I'll send more comics in for them to review, because I think it's great for all of us to get independent reviews done by people who will speak up and point out things out to you.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
of course.
give your comics to your friends and your mum and you know, your wife and all that, and they'll say, yeah, that's very good, you know, you've done a really good job. But you want someone who's going to be 100% independent and say, look, mate, you know, I don't know what you're doing here, but or this is good. If you get it, this is good from independent, that's great.
Yeah.
And if you get, you know, all criticism, constructive criticism is great. I love it.
Exactly.
You know, if someone picks holes in it and says, look, this is no good, this is no good, this is the reason. Give me a reason why it's no good.
Yeah,
Tell me why.
exactly.
And
Best way to
then
learn.
you've got something to go with.
That's exactly right, and that's what we crave. It's you know, all the this is great, this is fantastic is just the echo chamber effect is just there's nothing to work with there.
Yeah,
there's no room to grow.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
I
always
like
good to have conversations, you know.
Yeah. I like to actually, if you read ever, you know, you unplug my stuff, but Amazing Tales, you have a look at the letters pages in there. I print the comments and that I get, and you know, you have a read through there, and you'll see the good and the bad and the ugly. So it's all good, and a lot of it's funny. I laugh at the first bloke I got to review Amazing Tales #1 came back to me. He's a respected comic reviewer and comic personality. He said, geez, you know, I like the stories, but I don't know where you'd sell this stuff, mate. You know, maybe at a country agricultural show or a woodworking convention, they might be interested, but I don't think anyone else will be.
Well, Dave, you know what? You sold them to me. So tell that reviewer to go and stick his woodworking fucking, you know, like chainsaw farm buddy model, you know, like, and no.
I don't care, mate. I loved
good.
it. I quote that 100 times. I love quoting that one because that's one of my best sellers.
And there you go. How weird is that?
Everyone's got a different idea, and what I like is not what you like or someone else likes. So don't worry about what one person says. Get a broad cross section if you can.
Yeah. And Gav, you've done. Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, you might get a bad review. Don't go cutting your wrist over it because, you know, give it to someone else, and hopefully you'll get some good feedback. And if you do get bad feedback, say why don't you like it, or what's wrong? The story,
exactly.
whatever, and nail it down, and then improve it on your next one.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yep, that's exactly it. You've done quite a few short stories, haven't you, Dave?
Yeah, I like to do short stories.
Yeah, I'm focused. This is my first sort of self-contained 8-pager, and I'm finding it it's a really interesting challenge. How's everyone else finding the form of either chapterization of 8 pages or self-contained 8 pages? It's an interesting challenge for me, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to do 2 cliffhangers, so I'm doing 3 parts, and I wanted to read like one story, but I want each part to read like a story as well, and so to time the cliffhangers without revealing everything, it's a challenge. But it's a challenge that it's right on the. I hate a challenge where something feels impossible, but this is like just enough challenge so that I enjoy it.
Enough to make you reach, but you can get that finger hold and
Yeah.
Nice.
I had I gave my first comic I put out had the short stories. It's got the different ones. You know, one's 8 pages, another's 14 or 15 pages or something. Another's 3 pages, another whatever pages adds up to 32. I always got to add up to 32 for me, and but I like the small format because it's, you know, some of them are short and snappy and, you know, get into it, and others are a bit longer, you know. But my sister said, they're all too short, you know, bring them out. But, you know, sometimes you like a nice short, snappy, get in and get out. Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for that, isn't there? Yeah, to not overstay your welcome.
Yeah.
Tyra,
That's what I'm
now.
And get that story across. And even there's artists out there and creators that do like those one-page stories. Like Rob, you just advertised 1 page, 2 pages for people in Vamoose the other day.
Yeah.
And I read that and I thought, man, I can't do that. Like, you know, so kudos to anyone else that can. But like, I couldn't even begin to imagine a 1 or 2 page story. Like, it just isn't, you know. So these
It's
short
fun to get those
stories are
gears
pretty
turning,
awesome.
though, isn't it? To sort of start the gears turning and thinking, oh, how would I do that? What would work? What would be a functioning 1 page or 2 page structure to get something across? Yeah.
And then you start, mate, you start thinking like, okay, got to make the panels flashy. To keep, you know, like your whole mind starts working to like, how do you get a start, an introduction? You know, I mean, essentially, it's the 3-part play, isn't it? The introduction, the hero in the fucking like dark zone, and then the ending. And you've got to do that in 1 page, like say 6 panels or 8 panels. Like, man, that's brave for people to do that.
But if you think about it, like the Peanuts is that in 3 panels. It's
Yeah.
a setup,
Yeah.
thing, and then punchline. So
Boiled down to its core components. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And that's basically it. You know, you got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so I got a story from someone one time that wanted me to illustrate it, and basically it was just a joke that was extended over 3 pages. And I didn't like it, actually. I said, no, I don't want to do that because it's obviously just a joke that's been puffed up.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that one. But you've got to be careful with it. You know, you've got to make you've got to tell a story.
Yeah.
You can't just have a punchline that you could almost see it from the first panel what was going to happen at the end. So you still got to tell something that's interesting and a twist. I like to put a bit of a twist at the end or something unusual. Yeah.
Well, if you can't get the story, Dave, you may as well just say that, you know, for example, to the publisher, like, I'll just do your pin-up. You know what I mean? Like, or a A3 page. Like, I mean, that's the tricky element of it, isn't it? Is like, how do you translate one, say, A3 page into a story that reader will devour and love and come back to it? Like, wow. And seriously, thumbs up to anyone that's done that successfully. That's fantastic. And bravo, but I won't be on that playing field, I can tell you. It's like,
working within set pages is a really good way to whittle down and make sure what you're putting out is the best and not just. I find that because if I find something vaguely amusing, I'll just cram 3 panels in, no problem. But with this one, I had a very tight 8 pages I could work with. So I really had to go through and go, is this worth keeping? Is this? And by the end of it, it was a much more refined, much more energetic story.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
So definitely give it a shot, Luke.
Pete, did you write the whole story out just off the top of your, okay, I've got a story, and you wrote it out, and then you trimmed it down from there to 8 pages?
Yeah. Like with my last comic, Crimson, I was really strict with the script. Like I stuck to it word for word. I slaved just as long in the script as I did on the art. And then I followed that, and I realized it's not that fun. It just feels like I'm connecting dots. But with photos, I thought I'm going to do the opposite. I won't have any script. I'm just going to wing every page and see what happens. But then it meandered too much, and I wasn't getting to the point. I was just having fun drawing, and the story was taking forever. Right. So now I've kind of hit this nice sweet spot where I kind of just have notes.
Yep.
And sort of technical, and then it doesn't get technical until I do the page layout, and then I find that works best for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, I've done that with Battle for Bustle, Pete, so I'm right there with you.
4 issues. 4 issues later.
Yeah, no, I'm winging a bit of it there, mate. Like, don't worry about that. So, no, I can definitely, it's, I love sitting here listening to you guys talk about your creative balances and stuff like that. It's great, eh?
It's one of the joys of this community, isn't it, man?
Yeah.
What about you, Duncan? How did you go about writing your story, mate?
Everything. I don't script anything. Everything's just sort of plotted out. I got a vague points.
Yep.
Pretty much. I know the beginning. I know the ending. I know the points where I want it to be, and pretty much anything between there is where it goes, basically. Like I take a lot of writing inspiration from like the way shonen manga writers go, like people that write comics weekly, and a lot of that is just they got the vague timeline and then just plotting out in between there. And I find that writing like that,
isn't it?
What's that?
So there's that sense of immediacy almost, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't really overthink anything. It's just pretty much exactly like what you want to put in, and nothing really filler. Just bear just exactly what you want to do.
It's almost a stream of conscience sort of creation.
Yeah, it's just pretty much whatever comes to you. It's just like that's the direction you're going, and that's the way it fits.
Right. Yeah. I do the point form, but what I do, like, I'll get an idea, just a rough idea. It might be just a sentence in my head. An idea is Joe Blow steals a watch and has trouble. And then I'll sit in the lounge chair or I'll lay in bed and I'll just think about the story. It might take me a couple of hours and I'll just go through what could happen, the various things in my brain, in here. This actually works. And I'll mull the whole story through and then I'll sit down with a piece of paper and a pen and write out like you do in points.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do for every issue I do is exactly that. Yeah. Like I just feel like making dinner or something, I'm like, oh, that'd be good. And I go like just immediately write something down, like that'd be good to happen at some point, or like any time of the day, just like my notes in my phone are just like chock full of stuff.
Exactly the same, man.
Like,
that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Just throughout the day, you're just like, you're just on the toilet and you're like, oh.
Where's the paper?
It's really hard to force those good ideas, but they just come to you. It's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The best ones always are more organic like that.
Yeah, you're watching something like, oh, I really want to rip that off, but I want to do it in an original way. So you're like, how can I manipulate this?
Yeah.
Well, I get in the car and I'm driving, it's a 4 or 5 hour trip. That's a perfect time to think about a story. Oh, I've got to write a story for Shane. What am I going to do? And I'll just try and think about it while I'm driving. Shane. I'm in the car.
I think one of the most fun parts of the process is just like having to come up with something, having like a general idea and sort of having to expand on it.
Yeah.
One of the most fun parts, actually. You just do it while you're laying in bed, like I'm going to sleep, and you just sort of like play it out almost like a projector in your head and see how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it's nice at that early stage where anything is possible, nothing is off.
Yeah. You don't know where anything's going to go, and it's just going the way it's going to go.
Yeah, or how it's going to get there. You might know where you want to go, you might know the ending.
Yeah.
But you got to fill in the middle, and you don't know how you got to get from point A to point Z.
Yeah.
You've got to fill in the bits in between, and that's it. Yeah.
And all these changes too. Like while you even like doing up like page layouts and like something doesn't work and you expand on something, it always changes while you're even like in the process of making it.
Yeah.
And then it just changes the entire direction around.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we've hit the 2 hour mark, guys. And I found out from experience that no one watches videos that go over 2 hours.
Okay.
And this is also an excuse because I wanted to just zoom in on Ed because he's got some awesome promotion going on here. Sit up a bit, Ed. Let's show us the shirt.
Nice.
Snazzy.
Sorry, I had to get that in there.
Very good.
Well done.
I just wore my own one.
Sorry, mate. You don't get the applause Ed got.
Did you get that printed locally or offshore?
it's on Redbubble or something like that, like
Nice.
the print on demand things.
How much did they charge you for that, mate?
I think they're about $30.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Oh, that's about normal. Yeah.
Mm.
I got a
Is
photo
it-
shirt made up. I was hoping it'd be here by today, but
Mm.
it looked like I was copying you anyway, so that's okay.
Yeah, well,
Next time.
we can all get shirts. That'd be of our own characters and look like the biggest dorks ever. It'd be awesome. Like a game club.
Yes.
Bob McFarlane did it.
Well, actually, I didn't wear the ComX shirt. Oh.
Yes. Goodness gracious, I don't know.
Yeah, it did
Oh,
me,
if
Ed.
you're
Yeah, it did
throwing
me.
Curry, Rob, I'm wearing a Battle for Bustle shirt, man. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
look, you know, so I'm all about
Stuff up
dorks
here.
forever, man.
There we go.
You know,
Let's
Nice.
zoom in on Pete, mate. Zoom Pete on. What's he got?
I did some short ones. I showed them the last live stream we did.
Awesome.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
cool.
They're just
Excellent.
really small, you know,
Oh yeah,
one page folded over zine style.
yeah.
Nice.
So I'm going to be giving them out soon. So if you want one, DM me. I'll send you one.
Oh, wicked.
Sweet.
And it was going to be like a lucky dip thing. Maybe you get Zero's story, maybe you get Dementis' story, but you guys can have both. You're all right.
Hey, Pete, you got any comics out at the moment?
Just the Crimson ones, the Crimson 1 and 2, and these
Oh,
short.
right. Where's your shop? You got a shop available? Where do we get them?
I have an Instagram post. That's my shop.
Hey?
I have an
You got a-
Instagram post. That was my shop.
And maybe an appearance in.
I'll send you a
Vermouth.
message if you want to have a look at them.
Yeah, yeah, mate.
No worries.
So what you're trying to say is you want me to zoom in there?
No, I was just saying. And Peter Wilson also appears in Vermouth
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
with a 5-page story called Cockadoodle Doom. It's awesome.
Nice.
I've got
My
it
mum's favorite
just
thing
out of
I've done.
reach over there.
Cool.
I've got Ed's
Well,
stuff. Hey, I've got Ed's
Tony
stuff
for a
here.
second thought I was pimping my own stuff during people talking about Peter. Which
I'm used to it.
is my style a little bit.
Oh, radical. Nice.
I've got those. They're boss.
Hey. They're awesome.
Have you read it? I mean, Dave, did you see the cliffhanger at the
Yeah,
end?
yeah, great stuff, mate. Yeah, great. How do you carry your bottles of Coke, mate? How does everyone carry their bottles of Coke?
It's like this.
Who'd carry it like that?
Making me nervous.
Oh, mate, you got to get it. You got to read that little ash can, mate.
Nice.
So there's a
One of the
one-page story on the
Misfit
back of that one too.
Someone
Okay,
has one
sorry.
of this shirt.
Okay.
Rip the stuff, mate.
Yep.
All right.
Well-
2 hours.
Everyone will be back in a few weeks. I think I can't remember the order off the top of my head, but I know I'll be getting one book and then the other book. So it won't be 8 of us again. That was just for tonight.
Rats.
I'll let you guys know. And yeah, so 1st of July, Kickstarter starts. I was hoping to have the pre-launch page up, but because I haven't sent the calendars out yet, they won't let me. So
Okay.
yeah, so I got rejected once again.
Don't worry, mate. Yeah, I've got a tissue here. Yeah.
Story of my life. Story of my life. Cool. Well, thanks, Dave.
No, that's
Thanks.
been through the wall. That's been a
Well, thank you everyone for coming on tonight. Thanks for telling us about your stories. Thank you for being part of Presents and ComX Studio. I appreciate it so much that you are sharing your stories with us all. And I think that's us for the night.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
thank you, everyone. Wish you all the best of luck with deadlines and the launch.
Good on you, fellas.
No one hang up. See you in a minute.
No one hang up. Yes.
Oh.
We're off.